Good, is it evening or afternoon? Good afternoon, everyone.
Oyimore.
Sasa, first of all, I want to start first by thanking the people who made this possible. I've been running around doing campaigns. I think it's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. So I just want to thank again Chairman Rachir, Gerfas, Mirigi for making this possible. And then, it's hard to talk about Gor Mahia without going back to our history. I think Rachir has talked a lot about it, but one thing that's for sure, what we've achieved with this club from before, I think has never been done before in Kenya. We did so many, many big things. I think in Kenya, what we learned, let me just say as Sportpesa, sometimes you can fly so high that you have so many people that want to clip your wings. That's why I'm so happy today, because I remember that time we had spoken that we wanted the Kenyan team to play in the World Cup. We did a lot for football, not only Gor Mahia. Those international trips, bringing the first Premier League team to Kenya, taking an all-star team from Kenya to the UK. Gor Mahia, in fact, was one of the biggest beneficiaries, and that relationship, I think now can last and continue for a very long time. And even after we left the scene, not because we wanted, but because we were forced out. There are many people who tried to imitate what we had done with football and the sport. But imitating something that your heart is not in is very difficult. And even when we were in the negotiations with Gor Mahia, I remember speaking to Gerfas and he was telling me, we need to come home, because one of the biggest things you can have in the relationship is trust. This is not only a business relationship, because most of the things we did because we had the heart of the players as Sportpesa. And that will continue in this sponsorship. That's why even in our contract, we'll be partnering with the management of Gor Mahia to make sure the players are well taken care of. Chairman introduced the technical bench. Lakini nafikiri kuna technical bench huku introduce hapa. Because you guys taught me a lot about football in Kenya. I remember when we went to Everton, you told me, we were in Dar es Salaam when Everton came over. And you told me you'd beat them 3-0 because there's a technical bench doing some work.
It's called the research team.
It's called research. So you're one of the teams that created that passion in Sportpesa for football. Because I remember when we started partnering with Premier League clubs, Gor Mahia was the first. By the time we were finishing our partnership, in terms of even ranking for Gor Mahia as a club in Africa, it had gone up very, very far. Unfortunately, since then, it's not only for Gor Mahia, but for football in Kenya, things have really changed. COVID was one of the things that changed. Sponsors left. We didn't have a broadcast partner. A lot of things changed. But I want to believe that today is the beginning of bringing back football to the standards it should be at. And I think that's not only for Gor Mahia, but for football in Kenya. There's all this politics around football in Kenya right now. And without criticizing anyone, I saw that press conference that was called for. And to be honest, I agree with the Kenyan Premier League clubs. We need to get back to FIFA. Because the value of the football in Kenya, playing in a league which is sanctioned or recognized anywhere, sometimes has no value. Even in terms of sponsors, it's very difficult to attract sponsorships. So as we start this relationship, I want to assure you that I'll do everything in my power. Sportpesa now is still the same Sportpesa. The relationship we had then is the same relationship we'll keep into the future. So that we ensure, not only for Gor Mahia, because I'm sure from when the league starts this season, Gor Mahia will be at the top of the league. Sindio? That I'm 100% sure. So for today is to thank you for allowing the relationship to foster. And I think the reason why we're here today is because of the relationship we had before. We would not be here today if we did not have a good relationship before. So for me is to assure the team, the whole technical bench and the management of Gor Mahia that as Sportpesa we will support and ensure that we take Gor Mahia back to the levels it was at before, and even football in general in Kenya to the levels where it was at before. I was told the media is already aware of the amounts, so I don't think I'm going to mention that again. So I'll just conclude. We're really looking forward to the start of the league. I hope whatever issues in the management of football in Kenya, whichever the players are, whether it's FIFA, whether it's the government, they need to realize that this game is for the players and the fans. So whatever wrangles they might have, they have to put the players first and the fans first so that we get the game going back in Kenya. We've suffered so much as a sport throughout the season of COVID. Then we come back, we have these wrangles that have stopped football again. We need to get the game going as soon as possible. So mine is to say thank you once again, and I assure you of our full support going forward as Sportpesa. Asanteni sana.
Asante, Captain.